Hello, everyone, and welcome to Indiana Golf Magazine. I'm Brian Hammonds. We begin this episode with a tip of the cap to the University of Indianapolis women's golf team. They recently won their third Division II national championship, beating St. Mary's in a playoff. That is this month's top story, brought to you by the Chariot Automotive Group. And I'm joined now by the head coach of the Greyhounds, Brent Nickerson. And Coach, first of all, congratulations. Now, after the conversation you and I had before your team left for the national finals, I get the feeling this one might have been a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, I don't know if surprise is the right word. I just, we were ranked sixth, seventh throughout the year, and we had a key injury to our team. Our number two, Alice Webb, had an injury, and so just kind of didn't know how we were going to handle. We have 4 out of 6 girls who never been to the national championship before, so it's obviously a new experience. I believe in them, and they believe in themselves. You just kind of don't know what's going to happen in that first experience.
So tell me about your team this year.
Yeah, so we had Junior Ansi D was our leader. She's a first-team All-American. She's from Traverse City, Michigan. She's been our leader all year. Set a couple school records, had 70, 65 up at a tournament in Columbus, Ohio. And as I said, Alice was in line to probably be an All-American too. She got injured with about 4 or 5 weeks left in the season. We have a couple local kids, and Ava Ray from Franklin and Caroline Whalen, a freshman from Noblesville. Another freshman, a key piece to our lineup was Jess Haynes, a freshman from England. And then we had transfer Matilda Cedarholm from Texas State. We had everybody step up. Macy Brown from Owensboro, Kentucky stepped in and played at conference and filled that role very well. She played very solidly in conference and in St. Louis at a tournament. She shot 70, 69 there. So it was a very deep team. We also had leadership from Ellen Caton and Maggie Schaefer, who weren't able to play this spring, but still a great team atmosphere and 2 great leaders. It was one of the best feelings I've ever had as a coach as far as team culture and camaraderie. And, we ended up having 7 wins on the season, won a conference championship, tied for the regional championship, lost in the playoff, which turned out to be probably a good thing because then we had to repeat that sudden death playoff format at the national championship.
So this is your third national championship in the last 9 seasons. You also have a runner-up finish in that time frame. What's the secret to maintaining that success, especially at a northern school?
Yeah, the northern school thing doesn't really exist anymore. Finley's won a national title. Some schools from the Midwest have won. It's not just a southern dominated sport anymore. And I think, the facilities we have, we can practice year round. But to me, the key is recruiting. It's getting the right kids in here, the kids that are competitive. They might not be the highest ranked kids, but they're competitive. They want to win. And the girls that set the tone before them in the winning culture, they don't want that to end. And that's the reason they come to the University of Indianapolis and for a chance to win a national championship. And we've been fortunate to play in 12 or 13 straight. And we've won, 3 of them, got a second, a couple thirds. So it's been a fun run. But I think right now it's just finding the right type of kid and the right type of competitor.
Now, you don't shy away from playing Division I events. How much does that help prepare you for postseason play?
We've played in Ohio State before. We got invited to Purdue next year. We won Dayton's tournament this year. I don't know that, Ohio State's tournament used to happen right before our postseason. That was always a good one for us to prepare because it was a tough tournament. It's played, 6,400 yards, kind of got us ready for postseason. But, what I think playing in the Division I tournaments and performing well in those does is helps recruiting. And that just kind of circles back to what I said earlier. It gets the type of kids in here that want to go compete for championships because, some people have that D1 or bust mentality, and then they see that we can actually play with Division I schools. And our kids don't even look at that anymore. We don't talk about, our Dayton win this year being a D1 tournament. Others do. I understand why it could be a big deal, but our kids just look at it as another golf bag and another tournament that we're going to go try to win.
Well, Coach, congratulations again on a third national championship. It is quite a program you've built there at UIndy.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the support. And we've had a lot of messages from people around the city, and very appreciative of that. And I'm glad they're proud of the girls as much as I am.
The Indiana tournament season is now in full swing. The Indianapolis Open was held in May at the club at Holiday Farms in Zionsville. And for only the 9th time in the 44-year history of the event, an amateur came away the winner. The final round of the Indianapolis Open began with 2016 champion Andrew Rhodes leading by 3. The lead was still 3 until things took a big turn at the par 5 7th. Playing in the next-to-last group, two-time Indianapolis Open champion Eric Steger hit a beautiful third shot to set up a birdie to get him to 3 under par, 2 shots back. But when Rhodes got to the 7th, he hit his second into the water, leading to a triple bogey 8, giving Steger the outright lead. Steger would add another birdie at the 9th to take a 2-shot lead at the turn at 4 under par. On the back 9, amateur Matt Vogt, who began the day 6 shots back, threw his hat into the ring. He eagled the 12th to tie the lead, then made this birdie on 14 and would add another at 15. He had a 3-shot lead playing the par 5 16th, but Vogt struggled to get out of the greenside bunker, leading to a bogey. The lead was 2, and the door was still open for Steger. At 16, Steger reached the green in 2, but ran his eagle putt past the hole and then left his birdie putt on the lip. The 3-putt kept him 2 shots back. Vogt would make par at the 18th to post 5 under. Steger had another good look at birdie at 17, but missed it. A birdie at the last would leave Steger 1 shot behind Matt Vogt, who shoots a final round 66 to win the Indianapolis Open.
I love being in that position. The last few years, it really does free you up when you're back a few groups. I don't love being 6 shots back, but the game plan was just to pick off as many birdies as possible. There's so many places out here where you cannot force it, and if you do, you get in trouble. So it was just trying to find the right holes and the right spots to do it, and very fortunate to make a lot of putts today, which always helps.
Matt Vogt is a dentist during the day and now an Indianapolis Open champion. Eric Steger now has 2 wins and a second in 2024. Johnny Watt shoots 67 in the final round to end up tied for 4th, along with first-round leader Andrew Rhodes and Vince Drummond, who has finished in the top 10 in every event he's played this year. The Indiana Adaptive Championship was also held in May at the Golf Club of Indiana, which has turned into one of the bigger events on the adaptive golf circuit. Evan Mathias was the overall winner in the men's division, Nancy Towers in the women's division. Here's a look at all of the individual winners in their respective categories. Our spotlight this month shines on a Hoosier who is experiencing the roller coaster ride that is professional golf. And he's hoping this latest uphill climb is about to pay off. Evansville's Dylan Meyer was a 3-time All-American at the University of Illinois. He made his professional debut at the U.S. Open in 2018 and tied for 20th. He tied for 17th at the PGA Tour event in Potomac, Maryland. And a few months later, he tied for 7th at the Sanderson Farms Championship. That early success gave Dylan a false sense of security.
I did have that sense of comfortability of playing professional golf, thinking, okay, this is just going to be the same thing as amateur golf and junior golf, and in reality it's not. You got to work harder at it. Everyone out there is playing at the same exact level you're playing at, if not better.
The next year, with full status on the Korn Ferry Tour, Dylan learned just how tough pro golf is. He missed 13 of 14 cuts and lost his card. 2 years later, he had no status on any pro tour.
The low point was whenever I lost my status on the, America's Tour. It was then the Canada tour. I wasn't getting any starts out there, and it was like, man, I know I've played against all these guys that have gotten PGA Tour status or Korn Ferry status, have won, I beat them, and it was just kind of like, man, what am I doing? Why is it not going well for me? And then I was being a victim of my own reality, which sucked. I definitely wasn't, depressed or anything like that. It was just, I had to be real with myself and be objective. Like, dude, you're not as good as you think you are.
So Dylan took a long, hard look at himself in the mirror and went to work. It's paying off. Last year at Q School, he earned conditional status on the Korn Ferry Tour for 2024. The 28-year-old is also inspired by his friend Eric Cole, who was the PGA Tour Rookie of the Year last year at the age of 35. So Dylan isn't thinking about giving up on his dream.
I think I'll know when my time is kind of past me or whatever. I mean, like you said with Eric, he's 33, 34, and he just won Rookie of the Year. A lot of times you hear guys don't peak until they're in their 30s. And that's certainly Eric. So, it's one of those deals. My game is trending in the right direction, so I don't see myself quitting anytime soon.
Here's a look at what Dylan has done so far in 2024. He's made both cuts on the Korn Ferry Tour and has a runner-up finish in 4 starts on the Minor League Golf Tour as he continues his climb back to where he wants to be in golf. Time now for our tip of the month, brought to you by Correct to Compete. Now, most of us get a little nervous when we end up in a greenside bunker. Our tip this month helps us feel a little better about our chances to get up and down.
Good morning, I'm Jon Hoover. I'm the Director of Instruction here at Broadmoor Country Club, as well as Correct to Compete here in Indianapolis. And today's tip of the month, we're going to discuss bunker play. And whether we want in it or not, we need to know how to play once we do get into the sand. So, in the bunker play, again, the chest and the shoulders is the engine. So as I turn back and away, I'm going to add hinge in the wrist. This is going to provide a little bit of a downward blow into the sand. Just as in any other short game shot, I have drawn a line, a horizontal line with a rectangle. I want to be able to land the golf club on the line as I work through the sand, hitting my line. The difference between the bunker play and a typical short game shot, the ball is behind the line, and an iron shot and a pitch shot, it's in front of the line with a bunker shot. So I'm going to try to land the golf club into the line and take out the rectangle. I'm going to open the club face because with a sand wedge, the trailing edge versus the leading edge talks a little bit about bounce and loft. And so based on the individual of the golfer, we want to have a sand wedge that fits you. So some dig deep, some are very shallow through the sand. I want to have a sand wedge so when I work through the sand, it thumps and splashes the sand. It's not digging very deep. I'm going to set up. I'm going to move the ball position so the golf ball is in the front half of the stance. And I'm going to hinge. And as I hinge, I'm going to work through and work on hitting the line as I work through the shot. All things work correctly. I'm going to hit the line. I'm going to open the face, hinge it up, and hit a bunker shot. Thank you for taking the time to watch our short game tip of the month. This was on bunker play today. Feel free to contact myself here at Broadmoor Country Club or at Correct to Compete. We do both indoor and outdoor instruction, and we can help you in all facets of the game.
Taking a look at what's coming up in June, the calendar is full of big events. The PGA Senior Open and the Girls Junior PGA Championship are both being held early in the month. Garin Catholic will go for an unprecedented third consecutive IHSAA State Championship, June 11th and 12th at Prairie View in Carmel. The 124th Indiana Amateur is June 17th through the 19th, and the Indiana Women's Open will be held June 26th and 27th at Orchard Ridge in Fort Wayne. If you get a chance, go out and watch one of these events. You will see some great golf. And that will do it for this episode. I'm Brian Hammonds. Thanks for watching, and join us again next month for Indiana Golf Magazine.